The Whispering Man. Ethan never believed in ghosts. He laughed at the idea of spirits haunting the living until he moved into Brookside Apartments. The rent was impossibly low, and the landlord barely made eye contact when handing him the keys. "Just ignore any strange noises," the man muttered before leaving. Ethan shrugged it off. City landlords were always weird. The apartment was small but decent. The only odd thing was a thin, closet-sized door in the bedroom wall. It had no knob, no lock, just a wooden panel sealed shut with old nails. Probably a storage space, Ethan figured. He never thought much of it, until the whispers began. At first, he thought it was the neighbors, muffled voices creeping through the thin walls at exactly 3:13 a.m. every night. Soft, murmuring, urgent. But when he pressed his ear to the wall, the whispers weren't coming from the neighbors. They were coming from inside the sealed door. Ethan's stomach twisted. He turned on the lights, but the voices stopped immediately. He barely slept that night. The next day, he asked the old woman next door about the apartment's history. She hesitated, glancing at his door before whispering, "He's still in there." "Who?" "The man they sealed inside, the Whispering Man." Ethan laughed uneasily, but her face remained grim. "Years ago, a man lived in your apartment. He heard voices, said something was inside his closet, watching him. He went mad trying to break through. One night, he finally opened it, and something stepped out." Ethan swallowed hard. "What happened to him?" The woman's eyes darkened. "They found him in pieces. The police never figured out how. No forced entry, just bits of him scattered around the apartment, like something had played with his body. They sealed the door, thought it would keep him quiet, but at night, he still whispers." She gave Ethan a look of pity before closing her door. Ethan told himself it was just an urban legend. But that night, the whispers returned, louder, closer. He couldn't ignore it anymore. He grabbed a hammer and pried at the nails. One by one, they creaked free. His pulse pounded as he wedged his fingers into the crack and pulled. The door swung open, and behind it, nothing. Just darkness, a deep, endless void. The air reeked of something rotting. Relief washed over Ethan. "See, nothing." A hand shot out, not a human hand. It was too long, too pale, fingers like knives. It grabbed Ethan's wrist, pulling, dragging him into the darkness. He screamed, kicking, fighting, but its grip was like ice. His body lurched forward. Then, silence. The next morning, the landlord came by to check the apartment. The door was sealed shut, as it had always been. But if you press your ear to the wall at exactly 3:13 a.m., you'll hear him. Ethan, whispering, begging to be let out.